What's up, everybody? It's Talkin Brash, episode 33. It is, for the last time, the last Blackout Friday, possibly forever. Because I can't do this to myself anymore. Saturdays have been... I can't operate on Saturday. My guests have been inebriated by the end of every show. It's not good for them. It's not good for me. So this is the last Blackout Friday. Richard Dicko North, I know you're probably gonna be upset. I'm sorry, buddy, because I know you're one of the main catalysts for Blackout Friday. So I know you'll probably be upset. Yep, they're already complaining. Blackout Friday. Curtis, Lynette, Dicko North, fucking Happy Mischief Night, everyone. I forget. Devil's Night, whatever you guys call it. It's something else for everyone. When I first moved up to North Jersey from North Bergen, they started calling it like Goosey Night, and I'm like, what the fuck are you idiots talking about? It's fucking Mischief Night. Let's throw eggs at each other and beat each other with socks filled with flour. You know? Throw fucking toilet paper on everything, mess up everyone's house and cars. We used to freeze our eggs and throw them at fucking people sometimes. But, I don't know. I don't think the kids definitely don't Mischief Night anymore, especially not here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's just, kids these days. What are we going to do with this fucking youth? Yesterday I was around a bunch of college kids that were going to this party. Pathetic, bro. Like, they don't know how to party. I felt like the old man, like, I should fucking school these kids and fucking show them what a party's all about. But I'm like, nah, you know what? Just forget it. Guys are fucking bunch of idiots. Anyway, we did a whole bunch of stuff today. Emilio came out with a fucking ripping video. What the fuck is this band called? Dark something. Right. And we did something too with the good old Nim Vin. I told you it was coming for a long time. Let me get it out for you here, so you guys can see what... Joe, you didn't get canceled, but I'm not going to Blackout Friday with you, okay? The Hadron Collider Multiverse is out on Spotify, just as promised, okay? So this is Nim Vin, Tracy Bird, Howie Wowie, and I. It started off as a joke with TB singing, and like he wasn't supposed to sing. But I showed him what I was doing with Chris, and he's like, yo, let me fucking sing on this track. I'm like, well, Nim Vin thinks he's gonna sing, but you know what? Good idea. Send me your fucking vocals, and I'll show it to Nim Vin and tell him he's out of his own band. Like, you've taken over. So Tracy sends me his fucking vocal tracks, and they were so fucking good. I fucking mixed them in there. It sounded so good. I showed him to Nim Vin, and he was like, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just use some of his stuff. We'll trade verses with you guys, and I'll blend it in so you each have equal vocal time, and it worked out so good. Their voices sound so good together. It blends in nice. Yeah, really stoked with how this came. This is probably the best sounding thing that's come out of my studio so far. So I'm really proud of it. I hope you guys dig it. And yeah, go on Spotify, check it out. That's right, Dark Ride is Emilio's band. The video is fucking banging. It's a banger. So this is why Emilio's been in the darks for so long. And Shadow Windhawk, Noah, he's also been MIA, and this is why. They were preparing to unleash Dark Ride upon us. So yeah, I'm stoked for the EP to come out. I have it. It's awesome. You guys will like it. I have a website. It's LokiGuitarOfficial.com. There's a merch store. Help support. Keep the channel growing strong. I have a Patreon. A bunch of things dropped this week for Patreon. One more thing will drop tomorrow. Something rare, unheard. It's a song. It'll be audio. So, yeah, go sign up for Patreon to get exclusive content. Also, the YouTube link is there. Go subscribe on YouTube. because there's going to be a lot more shit going on over yonder. All right, that's enough of selling shit. Today we got a dude who's fucking super talented. He's been in the game a while. I remember fucking seeing him. I think the first time I met him was when he was doing Blitzkid. But let's fucking let me fucking X this out over here. Unmute my friend here. Nathan, how are you, buddy?
Good, bud. Good. Thank you for having me on here, man. I've been keeping up with you because I saw you. I got to give you this. I know we were talking a little bit before we started, but you jumped on all of this as soon as COVID hit, and it really inspired me to do my live streams, which I've taken a break from recently just because, things happen and you get a little bit more busy doing other things. We've been busy with the podcast, but yeah, so you really inspired me to take advantage of being stuck at home for months at a time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're used to entertaining in some way, you gotta do something with your time, and whatever. Let's fucking figure out. My main thing was to let's figure out OBS and Streamlabs. Like, I really wanted to learn. I knew nothing about it going in, and now I got special effects. I got a green screen. Like, if you could see the fucking the actual podcast itself, there's fucking blood going up the walls. It's fucking awesome.
Yes, yeah. I've seen a couple episodes, man, and it's great. It's great. I watched a little bit of the. You did one with Goolsby recently, right?
Yeah.
My old buddy. We were just talking on the phone earlier today or yesterday. But
he has officially ruined all my guests fucking from here on in, because he took us a tour on this fucking horror movie museum. He had his friend Cortland with him. He was like showing us original fucking Wolfman and like just going through all this stuff that's just one of a kind and authentic and shit like that. And
oh gosh, I'm on a laptop.
He really stepped up his game as a guest, and now all guests from here in the future will suffer.
Right.
Goolsby will be the highlight episode.
A true showman.
Yep. Unfortunately for you, you are the first guest since Goolsby.
Yep. He's, that guy, I met him. You were just saying when we met, I think we met maybe before that, back in the Elbows Lounge days in Dayton.
Right.
I know.
Were you there for that brawl?
Yes.
You were there.
Yes.
So then that's probably when.
That is when we met. And the band you fought is a band called, I don't think they're around anymore, but they were called Midnight Picture Show. That was the band.
I'm so happy you were there.
Yeah. What a great show, dude. There's no better way. We were joking that night. Like, I've never seen a set can't end better than three members of the band getting off and beating the shit out of somebody in the audience, dude. But these guys, I'll tell you, those hecklers that Graves had, I've seen him, get heckled back in the day for the Misfits stuff. But those guys, particular, they were known for that at that bar. They were just, that's what they wanted to do every night there, and they met their match that night, man.
I think the straw that broke the camel's back was they threw a water bottle and it hit him. It hit Michael, and I remember it like it was yesterday. As he's saying, he's like threatening them. He's like, "You do something like that again, I'm gonna go down there and kick your ass." And like before he could say "kick your ass," I was already down in the audience fighting people. Like I was already throwing down. Like he was mid threat while I was already down there fighting.
Wow. Yeah, dude. God.
And then that broke it off. They're like, "Oh shit, I guess we all got to fight now." Fuck.
That had to be a decade ago.
Yeah. More than that.
Yeah, more than that. I don't even think I was of drinking age when that happened, dude. I'm 33 now.
Yeah. It was a long time.
Yeah. But gosh, Elbows was a crazy place. That's something that I will say. Cincinnati and Dayton, there was a little magic there in the early 2000s just because of the date.
Absolutely.
That was ever present. It's calmed down a lot in the scene, Cincinnati's still got plenty of danger, but you got to go looking for it. You know,
Right.
um,
It was rowdy in a good way for us, especially Cincinnati, man. Cincinnati knew how to party. I remember those shows at Suzzy's.
yes.
And
They just
man,
tore the building down.
really?
Yeah, about last week. They finally tore the building. I actually went down and grabbed a couple bricks from Sudsy Malone's.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try. I don't know if I should say this on the podcast, but I think I'm going to try and make some Christmas presents out of them for the boys. And that was such a home to us. Big Mike, who ran the door, and his daughter, who was the bartender. Shelly, who worked there. Rest in peace to her. I mean, dude, they were that's in my, at least just personally, was a golden era in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Being able to do Sudsies and Elbows and the Southgate House with you guys. You know, it was crazy to us because we were Midwest. It's a small place, man. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was kind of a big deal to be getting Michael and Mr. Monster, and seems like I talked to, it's not a bad thing, but I talked to like my friends who are even in other kinds of bands and stuff, and it just seems like now indie rock and a lot of that stuff is the big thing here now.
Oh, that's taken over there?
Yep. That and like jam bands have always been big. You know, there's like, we have the Ludlow Bromley Yacht Club, which was like kind of a place that you know, the Grateful Dead used to come and hang out and stuff, and that was like, so that's kind of like a big thing. It always kind of has been a big thing around here.
Right.
For me, I do miss those days, but when I got to leave Cincinnati finally, and start touring as a young dude, especially with Blitzkid, when we were going all over the place and going to Europe and stuff,
Right.
I got to see how I don't want to diss my own town, but I got to see how a real scene operates in certain cities. And you know,
Yeah.
and there's just cities who have it down, and it was beautiful to see. Sometimes you get home from those tours and it's a little depressing because
I know exactly what you mean, man.
you know,
I know exactly what you
places
mean.
that are just like a unit, and they're a tight knit machine that's making it happen, and you're like, man, that can happen here. It just takes all of us, you know.
Yep.
But yeah.
Fucking, so let's go back to when you started figuring it out that you wanted to be a band, dude. What was your beginnings like? What were you doing? Was it punk at all? Was it what were you wanting to do?
Yeah. So at a young age, really young age, I lived in a big house with my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, my uncle, and a couple cousins. Okay. And I grew up in Newport, Kentucky. And my uncle was a little bit, my mom's way young. She graduated high school in 1984. She had me young. My uncle's even younger than her. So being from that era, my uncle was big into Black Flag and the Circle Jerks, and he got me into that. Got me into. He was never that big into the Misfits, honestly. He was more into the street punk and hardcore and
right,
Little Biscuits, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It wasn't until my cousins started playing music that I got interested in actually playing and seeing if I could do what I was hearing. You know what I mean? And that was probably 7 or 8. It was really young, man. But my cousins were 12 and 13, and they were showing me the ropes, you know. And this is like 94 or 95, dude.
Right.
Like this is like you know, I say I'm a 90s kid, but then when people bring up sometimes have to be like, well, I was 6 years old when Kurt Cobain was famous.
Right. Damn.
So, and I was very influenced by that stuff, but solely because of my older brothers and cousins and stuff.
Right. I just turned 42, so you're making me feel every bit of that right now.
42. I just turned 33 on the 9th.
Fucking 6 years old and shit when Kurt Cobain was doing his thing. Fuck.
Yeah. But it was just as influential because my cousins and everybody around me who was older were they had their finger on the pulse of grunge, dude.
Right.
I got to hear a lot of cool, deeper stuff from back then that people didn't hear on the radio, like Mudhoney and the Melvins. And
yeah, hell yeah.
I'm still to this day a massive Melvins fan. Massive. I just saw them last summer. They're better than they ever sounded. But But dude, what really got me into playing punk and metal, after I kind of learned the ropes, I hate to, sound cliche, but albums like Dookie,
Right.
albums like Two Hebes, White Trash, and a Bean.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and like
That
shit is fucking polished, and it sounds great. Of course, it's a great album to fucking learn from.
Right. It's just like finding Metallica first, in my opinion. You're gonna you're gonna find gnarlier music on your own after
Yeah,
that.
and it's good to begin there because it's good to learn music that is playable. Like,
right.
you start with the hardest shit first. You can get fucking frustrated and just like, oh man, maybe I can't do this. But if you start with like a Dookie or a Misfits record or something like that,
right,
like where you can almost play it without really knowing a whole lot about music.
And the older I get, you get an odd appreciation. You get older and you get a big appreciation for the things that got you started on it. We were just talking about Nightmare City. As much as we've all heard Inner Sandman, and it is the most overplayed riff ever, if you can take yourself out of that, and if you just heard a band kick into the verse riff of Inner Sandman, and you'd never heard it, you'd be like, that fucking slams, dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, sometimes you got to keep that in mind. It might have run its course for you, but there was a time where that album was spiking my head into the pavement, dude. I mean, it was changing. I'd never heard anything like that.
Right.
When it came to the Misfits and horror punk, that came way later. That all came from, you remember James Bongi?
Yeah.
That's our bass player's older brother.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck it, eh?
Different name. Ryan's last name is Chambers. James' last name is Bongi. But he was the one who got me into the Misfits. Before that, dude, I probably heard Cannibal Corpse before I heard the Misfits.
Right.
And stuff like that. And like Morbid Angel and even black metal, like Mayhem and stuff like that from my brothers and cousins. But it was James who got me into the Misfits and the Damned, and I very quickly after I got into the Misfits found Mr. Monster and Blitzkid. Very quickly. And that's because some of those guys were close friends, Mikey and Goolsby and James and Goolsby and stuff. But yeah, man, I don't know. I hate to say, I'm very appreciative that it happened organically. Me getting into music happened organically from my older brothers and cousins and family members who were just giving me records and telling me to check stuff out. And I really appreciate that I might be. That might have been my generation might be the last generation for that. That you you had to really hunt, dude. So when you found the band, when I found the Misfits, when I found Cannibal Corpse, dude, that was my band. You know what I mean? That was my shit.
Yeah.
That was like nobody else knew about it. And I'm not, you want other people to find out about it. But yeah, man.
The hunt was real, dude. You couldn't Google like, yo, here are these lyrics that I haven't stuck in my head. Google, who is this?
Right.
No, that shit did not exist.
Right. Or you had to for us, we had a place around here called Phil's Records that had a couple different locations, just a local record store. And they always had these late teens, early 20s, dreaded metalhead dudes working the counter in the 90s. And those dudes were like my go-to. I used to just walk in and be like, hey, what should I get? I remember doing that. And I remember the albums that dude used to hand me at Phil's Records right over here in Newport, Kentucky were like, Tool's first album, Alice in Chains' Dirt, stuff like that. Jeff Buckley, even stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like just stuff that was obviously big of the time, but I wouldn't have found it. I would have only found, just like everybody else, I would have only known Man in the Box from Alice in Chains or
right
on the radio,
Yeah.
So it was. I am appreciative, man. As far as me getting into music and learning how to play, I was influenced by the people around me, and I was influenced by the Music Box and MTV. And if you remember those, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Banger's Ball and stuff like that. I was a kid, but I was definitely paying attention,
Fuck yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was your what's your first instrument?
My first instrument was definitely guitar. It was.
And why? Like, how'd you get your hands on one? Why was it guitar?
My grandmother.
Yeah, huh?
Yep, and I still own it. My grandmother bought me a little Takamine, like little mini
Right.
guitar, and I think it's. I mean, it sounds terrible now, but it was really like I remember it's very strung up, and the neck looked very classical. You know, and I didn't. You know, when you're younger, you have to find that out on your own. Like, why doesn't my guitar sound the way I want it?
Right.
So yeah, she got me that, and then I quickly wanted electric, and I remember it was a Fender. It wasn't a Fender Squire, but it was another, like maybe just like a Mexican Strat or something like that.
Okay.
That my uncle gave me. So it was all family, dude. You know, like my mom was a vocal coach for years. My stepdad builds guitars. They met.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, my mom and stepdad met playing music. So I come from a musical family, and anything really all of my stuff goes back to pretty much family introducing it. Whether it's extreme music or whether it's Americana and Alan recordings, you know.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So I guess your mom is where your angelic voice came from.
Yeah, definitely my mom, man. She's got a way better voice than I do. My mom is a belter, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, I would love to dig these up and mix them, but my mom has some recordings of her doing some old Janice and Big Brother songs.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
And she's just fucking belting, dude. And I would love to get those like remastered for her maybe sometime, or like maybe just for her press it up on a vinyl or something.
Right.
That'd be really cool. But yeah, definitely all family influence, man. Did you have any of that?
So I don't tell people this a lot because a lot of people just don't believe me, but my mom's uncle is Jose Feliciano.
Oh, wow.
So Feliz Navidad, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy.
Wow.
And he used to go, visit my aunt really often, and my mom was kind of raised by my aunt. And Jose would go there all the time, and my mom would go and sing with him when they would jam out at the house, you know, like just like we would do it with our friends. They would jam out, and then like from time to time when he was playing Puerto Rico, he would have her come on stage and like be one of the chicks on the side helping him do all the backups and shit like that.
Wow.
So my mom had a fucking incredible voice.
Wow.
And then I got started early on piano, and she would just, as I, got good at playing, she would sing with me. And then when I got to guitar, she would make me learn songs like the Four Non-Blondes tune, that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, yeah, that song. That's why I learned so many Skid Row songs. She loves Skid Row. Fucking, I would learn them so she could just sit next to me and fucking belt it out,
Dude, Skid Row is a great band, and I will tell you, really, just it's like so off topic, and sorry to have an ADD moment, but it's weird you brought them up. I was just reading a story about Sebastian Bach. I didn't know until recently that he grew up with John Bon Jovi. Tell me, you might be able to tell me if this is true or not.
He is a Canadian guy. However, the Skid Row dudes all were from Jersey, as Bon Jovi was. And I'm sure they've crossed paths once Sebastian Bach got down to Jersey with Skid Row.
Okay.
So I'm sure they fucking had crossed paths at that point.
So I had heard that they made a pact at a very young age when both of their bands were still bar bands.
Right.
If one of them gets signed, they will bring the other one on. And I heard the story is that John Bon Jovi was very integral in Skid Row getting noticed.
It may be. I don't know that to be fact, but it could be.
You ever seen a YouTube series called What's in My Bag? It's at Amoeba Music, and it's like famous people showing you what records they bought and stuff.
Right.
One of the guys from Skid Row is on there, and I swear it was him telling that story.
It was probably Rachel Bolan, if anyone, because he was kind of the guy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe I think it was. But dude, those records, that's interesting that you say that was some of your first stuff to learn, because those guitars on those records are so shreddy, but very melodic.
Yeah.
And very still rooted in rock and roll. And I take this as a compliment. That's how I've always seen your playing. I've seen a guy who's like, wow, he's definitely influenced by metal.
Yeah.
Influenced. But
that was the first shit that we had, you know. I don't know. My mom was always a rocker, so like.
Yeah, me too.
You know, Van Halen recently passed away, and like Van Halen was on in the house all the fucking time.
Me too. Me too.
And I used to just jump off the wall whenever Panama would come on, but I would like jump with David Lee Roth when Jump was coming on, because I'm a little kid for that. Like I'm 5-6 years old when Jump is a fucking on MTV.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just fucking freaking out, and yeah, and like just like 80s guitar rock was so fucking good. All those guitar players were so fucking brilliant.
They were.
Those were real like guitar heroes, and to learn guitar during that time, it really made you be more diverse as a player. To play the fucking lead, to want to play leads, to want to play rhythmic shit too.
Yeah.
They had like great clean tones, all the acoustic stuff. It made you want to be just more diverse than when like. Rather, if you learn like mid '90s, all that shit got taken away, right? It wasn't all that heavy guitar rock.
Even bands like Machine Head. I remember my older brothers being so bummed that Machine Head put out a new metal record. I remember
right.
They were so bummed about it because they were so into it. Which I don't know, you know. It's so as a musician, you know, at some point you're like, I want to try something else, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know.
Yeah. I know JV's watching. He's a Machine Head mark, and he's one of those Machine Head fans that they could do no wrong. So like he forced himself to like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I do that with plenty of bands.
He does that with Metallica too. Like they could do no wrong. Like he'll find a redeeming quality and be like, no, see, it's good.
I'll give him this, man. I thought Hardwired ripped.
I did. You know what? I've barely listened to Hardwired.
Dude, you should. There's some.
Yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, and I will contest anybody about this. I've had so many debates. James Hetfield has one of the fastest fucking right hands in the game, dude.
Absolutely.
And people can rip on Metallica.
He is a beast on his rhythm tracks, bro.
He is a beast, and they wrote some of the most beastly fucking metal songs ever.
Yeah.
You know,
like you take that shit on, specifically Justice for All. His picking patterns on that are just fucking brilliant. Blackened, bro, like to play full speed is not an easy song to play.
No, I challenge anybody, dude.
Dyer's Eve, to play it right, is fucking hard to play.
Right, dude. And they were, you know, I think people are just deniers just to be deniers, because if you really like metal, especially if you play heavier guitar, dude, you can't deny Battery. You can't.
No, you cannot deny Battery, right?
Come on, dude. You can't deny those classic riffs that those guys came up with, man. Fight Fire with Fire.
I don't think anyone does, do they? Like, I've never heard anyone talk shit about, like, old school Metallica is always held on a high pedestal, and it's like everything after like Load starts where people are Metallica deniers.
Into the metal hipsters, the elite, the you know, I know a lot.
Right. They cut their hair, they lost their superpowers, it was over.
Yeah. I'm big into black metal, and I know a lot of people that are anything, you know, it's like punk back in the day. Anything that
people are afraid of change, bro.
Right. You know, there's this band called Death Heaven. Have you heard of them?
Yeah.
In San Diego, they're a black metal band, and they put elements of emo music in their black.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like very, very touchy, and everybody hates them.
Bro, I mean, forget that. Like, even if you put good production in black metal, people get pissed. Yeah. Like, wow, this sounds great. This is bullshit.
That's just closed mind. I mean, what do you want? Do you just want the second Mayhem record a bunch of times over and over again? You know, I don't know. I maybe it's also like, you know, people are also, a lot of people I know are just discovering all of that stuff because of the Lords of Chaos movie that came out, and like black metal, especially that era of black metal, the Dark Throne and Mayhem era, is old news to me. You know, like that. I was listening to that young. So, but it's weird that you bring that up, man. Even from, you know, usually if somebody's influenced musically by their family, it's just classic rock, or it's just
right.
So that I had a broad spectrum, man. My mom all the way to my brothers who graduated high school in the early 90s. I got influenced to even extreme music from family members. Cannibal Corpse and Mayhem and all that good stuff, you know. But like
fucking anything that, like, my search for extreme music came from just me and my friends. Like, none of my family members really loved it, but like, honestly, growing up, so I grew up not in the hood, but I grew up in a very fucking urban area, very bad neighborhood, North Bergen.
North Bergen is rough, dude.
And
that's like neighborhood.
So it started off with rap. Like, yo, what is the heaviest, darkest rap we can find? And like, my extreme mindset came from that, because all my friends were listening to like the most extreme rap. Like, and back in that day, it was like Tim Dog, you know.
Yeah,
I know Naughty by Nature became like mainstream, but like they had some fucking rough cuts. Like, the deep cuts are rough, bro. And that guy was serious.
Came out, they were gangster rap.
Yeah, that dude Tretch was like serious back then.
Right, they were almost more like the Ghetto Boys.
Yeah. So yeah, it was
Ghetto Boys record. That's dark, dude.
Yep. Yeah. So it started off with that, and then like that just transferred over to my metal. Like, I just wanted to find where the heaviest metal was coming from. So I was always a fan of like Sepultura, Testament, fucking, and then as I'm getting older, fucking, obviously Slayer, but At the Gates. Like, I went to the Swedish fucking ends of the earth. You know what I mean? Yeah, when I first heard At the Gates, I was like, "What the fuck is this? Is amazing."
You ever get into Dissection?
I have not. No.
Dissection's a good band. I mean, their lead singer's long gone. We did a Nightmare City episode on it. You can read about John Nodveit in Dissection. He's there's a crazy death story there if you're into that whole part of it.
Right.
The albums, especially an album called Rain Chaos, you need to check them out, man. It's production quality, riffs, everything about it is dope.
And I felt like I was in a good spot to find all these things, because WSOU was playing the fucking heaviest music that you can find. Like, we were lucky enough to be in the vicinity to hear WSOU all the time. So
right.
It was badass, dude.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's I wonder what, you know, so North Bergen, where you lived, would you consider inner city?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I was like right across the river from New York City, Manhattan, bro. So like, back in those days, it was a fucking pretty tough neighborhood. In fact, when I moved to like New Milford and shit, I'm like, there's fucking trees here. I'm like, these white boys, they fucking, like, I thought I was just the toughest kid in New Milford, because they didn't know. Like, they didn't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. When I grew up in Newport, Kentucky, in more of a more city environment than when I moved to Cincinnati. And you'd think it'd be opposite, you know.
Right.
But we moved out to the suburbs from downtown Newport, and I was like absolutely the poor kid at my
right
and everything like that. So there was a little getting used to as well. You have to mind your P's and Q's a little bit,
right,
around those kids' parents. You know, you can't say fuck. Around all my Newport friends' parents, you could say fuck. I remember thinking that when I was like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, even moving then though, I got into more music, and you know, because kids in the suburbs are bored, dude. That's where I got into skateboarding and a lot of punk rock. Honestly, is when I moved to the suburbs in an odd way.
Had I not moved to the suburbs, I probably wouldn't have picked up a guitar.
Yeah.
And I was on the wrong path. If my family stayed in North Bergen, I probably would have been in jail at a really young age, because I was already doing way fucked up shit.
Really?
At a stupid young age that people should just not be doing.
Yeah.
So
I see what's weird, man, is like I was kind of a wuss, dude. Like I was a good kid, but I had my like I wanted to be next to the fire. I was always friends with the bad kid.
Right.
I was always, you know what I mean? But I think that was my way of experiencing it at a young age. You know what I mean? Like, well, I'll let you do it. And then,
We would, yeah, as kids, like, I'm not sure who listens to this that grew up with us in North Bergen, but like, we had a gang called the Destroyers. But like, so we lived next to the train tracks of like the freight train going from Jersey to West New York to New York.
Okay.
And next to that train track was a bunch of, it was like trailer park homes.
Right.
And we used to go in there and just destroy everyone's home. Like, we would bash windows. We would fucking destroy the trailer park homes, fucking just waiting for people to chase us, you know? We'd go onto the train tracks and just like the trailer park people would throw like furniture or whatever garbage they had, they would throw it down by the tracks. So I would create this mountain of garbage, wait and like hide behind a tree waiting for the train to just plow through it. And fucking after a while they had these they were Conrail police. Conrail was like the company who owned that section of the tracks, I guess, or maybe who owned the train. So they got Conrail police security to go down there, and they were shooting us with salt and pepper guns. They were fucking salt and pepper pellets. We were like 9, and they're shooting us with these fucking salt and pepper fucking BB guns, bro.
Wow.
And they would cut us, and the salt would explode in your open cut, and like it would hurt so bad.
Yeah, of course, dude. Luckily, I mean, I've never experienced anything too bad. I've had a gun pulled on me twice in my life, and they were a real gun pulled on me twice in my life. Never shot at or anything like that, but I don't know, man. It's weird. I think when you're younger, I still consider that activity innocent when you're that age,
right?
Because you're just trying to let some angst out a little, you know.
Yeah. But that becomes something else if you stay there.
And I've got friends who did, man. And I've got friends who are either dead or in jail because of it, or I hate to say it, you have to disconnect from them.
Yeah.
Because I've got friends that I'm just like, I love you, but I can't let your life rub off on me. You understand. And most times when people are involved in actual street stuff, they're like, yeah, I understand. You know?
Fucking my mom took me out of there. The final straw was we used to live on right next to 1 and 9 Tunnelly Avenue. Really, really busy fucking like byway for trucks and truckers to get through Hudson County. And I used to get halfway down my block walking home from school. Could you imagine a fucking 3rd grader walking home from school these days? Forget it. But we'd be walking home from school and like get halfway down the block and just throw these fucking rocks, throw them as far as I could, hoping that I would make it to the intersection. And just like, you know, like you launch it and then like there's that silence of it being in the air.
Right.
And then just like crack, like, oh shit, we hit the car. Fucking book it. And everyone would like split up into 5 different ways. Well, one day I hit the wrong fucking car. It was like an unmarked cop car.
Oh no.
And like he stops in the middle of the road. Like these cars never stop because it's a busy street. This guy was like, stop, fucking fishtails out, pulls in reverse, cuts through the fucking trailer park. And me and my friends were like, fuck. We all split apart. I made it home, but the guy caught one of my fat friends. It's always the fat guy that gets caught, right? Fucking, and he fucking narked me out. So I have the cops waiting in front of my house. My parents aren't home. Could you imagine that too these days? Being home alone. It was like the neighborhood watch.
Oh god.
You know, fucking.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Yeah. I got arrested one time here in Cincinnati it was like out front of a Home Goods. They had like all of these, like a big firework display that was left out overnight. And it had like lighter fluid and all kinds of stuff for like 4th of July out and like a display out in their parking lot pretty much. And I don't know why we did it to this day, dude, but we covered everything in the lighter fluid and set it all on fire at the and the same thing happened. A friend of mine got caught and his mom, he had to go to court. And his mom stood up and told on the rest of us.
Really?
Yeah, and even the judge, I remember the judge, like my buddy Mike telling me, he's like, dude, the judge was kind of blown away. My mom did that. But the judge was a little like, all right. And sure,
Right.
like a week later, they came to my house, they came to Ryan's house, and they did the whole nine, dude. We were like 15. They put us in cuffs and everything. All we did was
Damn.
blow some fireworks up.
Right.
But I never past that. My friends who got into serious stuff, that was probably the time, you know, like late teens, mid teens, maybe. I don't know, man. Maybe I can attribute music to being like my savior in some way, but like,
right.
When it got into doing things like selling drugs or robbing people, which a lot of my friends got into heavy.
Right.
I was always like, it could ruin my shot is what I was looking at.
Yeah.
You know, but in reality, you get older and you realize, like, was it ruining my shot, or did I just have something that kept my head on straight a little? You know
yep.
what I mean? It's something that keeps you focused. It's something you have to focus on. And I think it builds a little character, you know? And I think that's why I didn't get into that shit, is because of punk rock. And in an odd way, you know, some parents look at that shit as punk rock and skateboarding is like, oh no, my kid's headed down the wrong path. When in reality, he might be headed down the right path. You know? Trust me. Some of my friends who didn't get into that shit are, I don't want to say they're bad people, but they're bad people, you know?
Yeah. I keep telling people that I was a terrible fucking kid. I was a bad kid growing up. I was a really bad person.
When was the change?
And like,
because you're such a nice guy.
The change, I don't know. I don't know why the change, but I guess it was just like, I can't keep at this. Yeah, I can't keep doing things at this level.
Yeah.
But like you said, I was robbing people and shit like that. Like when I lived in Cliffside Park, like, bro, I ain't proud of it, and like no one should ever fucking do this, but like I would fucking do it to like people coming home from work that were going straight to the bar, were too drunk to realize that they were being robbed.
Right.
Beat the shit out of them and rob them, and fucking that was that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and you know, I did it, not entirely proud of it, but I was a fucking troublemaker kid, dude. I was a bad person, bad kid.
And what age was that?
I was homeless, kind of. I was like dating chicks to fucking live at their place. So,
Right.
17, 18, 19.
So
it was like, and then I finally got to Joe's house, which is kind of, you know, that part of my life was like when I was meeting Joe and fucking, yeah.
When did you meet Joey?
Back when I was like 18 or 19.
And you do you?
So that's like 98-ish.
Okay.
Maybe.
Do you attribute that friendship to you getting out of that shit a little bit?
I was homeless, and my friend Jess was like, can this kid stay at your house for a while? Because like I guess I was bouncing around, like I said, dude. At one point I was living in my car. Yeah, it was bad news or whatever. But so yeah, my friend Jess is like, hey, can Carlos stay at your house? He asked his mom if I could like crash for a couple of days, and a couple of days turned into like a couple of years. And like I just lived at Joe's house after that for a while.
Hey, that's a test of an amazing family, though.
Right.
Because my grandmother was the same way. My uncle who got me into punk rock and stuff, he had a buddy who was a bad heroin addict and toured around in punk bands and stuff in the 80s. And my grandma let him stay there for 3 or 4 years. Now the guy's married, has kids, and you know, thanks my grandmother every day that he, you know what I mean? So it's
right.
weird, but it's true, man. Some people can, I think a lot of times, maybe, I don't want to speak for Joe's family, but sometimes you can see like, man, this is a good kid who's a little lost right now.
Right.
I mean, it's not the other way around. He's a good kid and he's going through some shit, you know? So that's awesome, man. When did you, so are you playing guitar at that point? 17, 18?
Yeah. The reason I was homeless was because like I wanted to rock, and like I knew that's what I wanted, but like, and I knew I'm like, fuck college. That's not the path that I'm going. Mm-hmm. And my parents were not having, they're like, you either do it this way or you can't live here. And I was like, well, I'm not living here. And I fucking took my guitar, went in my car, and fucking, dude, I was working at a flower shop, Broderick's Flowers, going to work in the day, getting into my car and driving to the spot in Edgewater, and I would sleep in my car next to the Hudson River. I was literally sleeping in my car down by the river.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had all my fucking clothes in the fucking back, the little hatchback of my Honda Civic or whatever.
Yeah.
It was an Accord, actually, and sleep in my car next to an abandoned movie theater right on the Hudson River. And I did that for like 3 months, and then I would go to work at Broderick's for a while, and then that's why I started dating chicks, just so I would have a place to crash.
Right.
It wasn't because I wanted to date these chicks. They were like, they were just the chicks nice enough to let me stay and eat something and use a shower or whatever. Yeah. that was my early adulthood.
That's good though, man. You have a story. You know, sometimes I think about the shit I've been through in my life too. But you know, then I sometimes I have to think like, dude, not everybody has a story. Some people have just some people have just had a boring ass life, dude.
Right.
And like it's the good and bad that you take with it as you get older is you know, even your regrets, man, that you got something out of them, you know.
Yeah. No, I definitely fucking did it the hard way.
Yeah.
You know.
So how far from that does Mr. Monster become a thing?
So as I'm doing all this, I was in a band called Angel Sin with Jason.
Right.
So this is right. This is pre Mr. Monster. We were doing this band Angel Sin, and we were playing a lot. Actually, we're a pretty decent band for around then. And then like right after that, Jason left Angel Sin, and Mr. Monster became a thing after that. And then once I was done with Angel Sin, I joined Mr. Monster for a short while.
Okay.
So yeah, it was all in that time period, like 99, 2000, 2001.
Wow. Yeah. I never knew that, man, that you were getting out of that some times, and you know. I didn't know you. It was probably another 7 or 8 years before I even met you, dude. You know,
right?
And even then, when we met, it was always it seemed like in passing for many times, and it seemed like we had so many mutual friends. You know, especially obviously Tracy and Goolsby and those guys. But I mean, I remember the first Blitzkid show I ever saw had Billy Bones on drums.
Right.
And I was 14 years old.
Damn, son.
Yeah, dude. Goolsby snuck me in by holding his bass for him, man. I walked in and just kind of kept my hat. You know what I mean, but those guys got us our start around that time. I was 14, and Ryan, who's older than me, was 16. And it was all through James Bongi and Mike Weaver and
right.
all those Cincinnati guys, you know.
Fucking Weavy, man. He's true, man. That kid's awesome.
He is. I love him, man. I have not seen him in a long time, but dude, he's gotten so into. I'm pretty sure he's an MMA trainer at this point.
Yeah, he'll choke a bitch out, bro.
Yeah, he's
actually we talk every time. Like, I'm not sure if he's on social media anymore, but anytime there's a big fight, like, he'll text me like, "Yo, who you got?"
Right.
And we'll fucking talk bullshit about MMA for a while.
Yeah, he got way heavy into that, and I remember when it started to take up a lot of his time, which I'm sure it still does now. But that's awesome, man.
Yeah, he's like fucking jiu-jitsu guy. He's fucking. This is no joke.
Yeah. But he's. If somebody were to make a documentary about horror punk, I think you would definitely need that dude in it, because he was such a connector of bands and people and fans. You know, he'd be a network connection from a band to a band, or if that wasn't the case and he just wanted you to hear something, dude, check these guys out. He was he had something new. When it seemed like new stuff was coming out a lot, you know.
Weavy was always one of the guys. Like, I have a few people that I trust to listen to new things, and he was always one of those. Like, hey, Weavy, listen to this. What do you think? Yeah.
I feel lucky that Tracy always sends me stuff.
Yeah,
he always sends me stuff, and I always send him stuff when I have it. I've spent more time in the studio in 2019 than I probably have in the last decade, dude. Just because me personally, a lot of people know me from playing in Blitzkid and playing live mainly. And while I do have a lot of music out, I've kind of taken it upon myself and made it a point in the last 2 years that I need to get a lot more of our catalog out into ears. So
Right.
that's what I've been doing recently with music. But it's taken.
Now's the time to do it. It took a fucking pandemic for you to fucking release music.
Yeah, dude. I see. The problem was, man, is the first Epidemic record. We were signed to a subsidiary of Warner Brothers when we were like 18 years old.
Right.
And I found out through Goolsby, who told me, gave me a heads up. 17 Days was on all of the streaming services and said it was owned by Warner Brothers Music. And I couldn't upload it. No one could use it. Like, for instance, a buddy of mine who's a skateboarder
right.
put up a skateboarding video with an old Epidemic song in it. It got flagged.
Really?
Yep, by Warner Music Group, which is defunct. So how can you get flagged? You know what I mean? So I started to pry into it a little bit. And it's so strange, dude. I finally got a hold of the guy who, if you remember, a company called Hairball 8 Distribution.
I don't remember, no.
They did a lot of psychobilly back in the day, and they did a lot of stuff with like Hellcat Records and stuff like that. And they were the one who distributed Quarantine Days originally. And they were pretty much just like selling it even after the contract was up.
Really?
And I hadn't paid attention, on my fault, but I'd also been in Blitzkid and Black Pharaoh, all those, you know,
right.
for almost 10 years. And all it took was an email, dude. I emailed him and I explained the situation. He was like, I'm so sorry, dude. Here you go. Here's like a little thing if you need me to sign saying you own all these songs, whatever we need to do. And he was totally cool about it. I don't know if that's because his company isn't around anymore.
Right.
And maybe he was just holding on to some albums thinking, I don't know, maybe they'll
maybe
never notice kind of thing. But when I started playing with the Roving Midnight is when Goolsby found all that out for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And really convinced me, for the better, I promise, to quit Black Pharaoh and go back to the Epidemic.
Right.
And it was better just because on tour I was explaining how stressed I was. You know what I mean? And not going anywhere, dude. I feel like I'm stuck in the mud and I got my foot on the gas, you know? And he was right, dude. I mean, we got the Epidemic slowly but surely back up on its feet, and we put Quarantine Days out on vinyl. It did really, really well. Thank you guys to whoever got that. If anybody's listening, we really appreciate that. I did not expect that at all. And it lit a fire under everybody's ass to keep going. So now we're working on getting the second record on vinyl, which just got remastered, and new music. So I'm happy to be back in the band. That's like a brainchild, but more importantly, I'm happy in what, you know, Goolsby and close friends of mine had to sit me down and tell me.
Right.
I'm happy to be in a band that you're happy to be in, as opposed to something that feels like you're pulling people by their hair to do it. You know what I mean? You can't ever be in a position like that because you're not going to get anything done.
Yep. And
it took a long time for me to find that out, but I still got a lot of songs left in me, and I now I feel like I have that knowledge fully. You know, I fully understand it myself. You know what I mean? Like, dude, trying to make people do something they don't want to do doesn't work.
No.
And
nope.
And you can try to do it nicely. You can fully. It never comes off right. And yeah, dude, it was a weird road, but I'm happy I took it that way because I got to make different kinds of music and experience different crowds and genres and stuff. But I'm happy to be back where I am now.
Cool. Fucking so in this meanwhile over here, 3 people bought shots, so this is shot number 1 for me. Thank you. Lynette bought 2 shots. Dicko North is I guess he only wants to do 1 shot right now. Lynette, this is shot number 1 for you. Thank you guys.
You're a braver man than me, buddy.
Yeah, you know. At the time when I thought of the gimmick, I'm like, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
It's Friday, fucking drink on a Friday. But bro, you know, when when you just sit here, maybe didn't eat before the fucking podcast, and like you forget how much, like, if someone just gets you 5 shots and then 2 more people get like a couple more, like, you forget how much liquor 9 shots really is within 2 hours.
Dude, like we were talking before we started, it's been a while since I actually like really knocked it back.
Right.
But dude, it's weird how even with, I don't know if you're a smoker, but I smoke marijuana, and like, I don't know if anybody else can tell you this, but it's just the same way. Like your tolerance seems to, you can take like a year-long break, and your tolerance, if you've been partying at some point in your life, well, like it's like an old ghost. It comes
right
in the room. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but it's been a while, dude. If I took 7 or 8 shots right now, this.
Well, that's what's been happening to the guests, which is why we can't have it anymore. Not only have my Saturday sucked, but my guests cannot fucking do it. Hold on. Fucking Dicko North is fucking... Hold on. I paid your fucking internet bill this month already. Bro. Listen to me. It's Friday. You're the one that fucking continuously like... Why are you doing away with Blackout Friday? You're doing away with Blackout Friday. And now you're sitting here bitching that you're the one that's only bought 1 shot. Yo, you want to drink? You got to fucking pony up. Otherwise, shut up. You know what I mean? So I don't want to hear no bullshit. You either fucking want to drink or you don't want to drink. Someone said Coffin Cats were on Hairball 8. Let's see, what else have people been saying? Someone said... All people from Ohio think they're good kids.
At least we act like it.
Right.
we're just liars.
All right, shot number 2. Dicko North, you're fucking... I see your game. I see your game now. You're just all talk. You know? You talk a big game, but then when the game's fucking here, you're striking out. Shot number 2. Thank you, guys.
Ooh.
Yeah, I antagonize my audience. I'm not sure what you do to your audience.
Same. Yeah. Same. We like to, like on Nightmare City, we like to, we'll take questions, like essentially ask me anything. We'll get people to email us. And we've kind of had a meeting recently that we need to stop making fun of the But we don't ever, dude.
Like, how do you do it? Like, what do you say? What do you do?
For instance, like somebody was asking, like what got us? Why do you think you're drawn to horror movies and dark subject matter when it comes to your music and stuff? And we were just like riffing on the fact that it's such an emo question.
Right.
Why are you so dark? So we basically like came up with this whole character. Our bass player Ryan, who's a real happy-go-lucky kid, we called him Ryan Dark, and he puts on a goth wig, and he talks about like his inspiration and everything like that. Another person like asked us if we believe in ghosts, and I hate to say this, I think they believe in ghosts, and we're like very into it.
Right.
Our player Mike
But you just like
did was talk about how stupid
it was. Yeah. That's something I would do.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I've never really I guess answering that question, I am influenced by dark stuff, but I'm not a very dark person. Anybody who's ever met me can tell you.
Right.
I'm like a lost character from Fast Times at Ridgemont High or something, dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love that stuff, but I guess I just always in a weird way, you know, like you're like old Slayer photos. Slayer used to crack me up because the cover was so dark and menacing. And then you'd turn it around and be like 4 smiling dudes in Raiders jerseys.
Yeah.
You know,
that's how I feel a lot of the times. Like, you know, I have these influences in my life, and like horror is one of them, but like I haven't let that completely define what I do as a person, right? Like Goolsby is that guy. He lives it. He fucking loves it. But you know, he is it.
Right.
I'm not that guy. Like, obviously I'm wearing fucking New York Rangers hoodie.
Yeah.
I have all different things that influence me, and like, yeah, I'm like sometimes I don't fit in with
I
like
have a New York City shirt on too.
right. Sometimes I don't fit in with like your standard whatever, like anything really, metalhead, punk rocker, horror punk, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But like, I take little bits of fucking everything, you know.
Same. I love Walk Among Us just as much as I love Burma Shave by Tom.
Yeah.
You know?
I can, and the way the thing I like about it is I can shred with the best of them, right?
Right.
But I'll downpick better than most anybody out there. Like maybe Tracy, but nah, I think I got Tracy too.
Dude, you give me a run for my money. I'll tell you on those tours where I had to learn a couple of those leads. To say that I faked my way through some would be an understatement, bud.
Dude, yeah, the way that came together with for the Goolsby stuff was he would hum it to me,
right?
He would do like a falsetto, like, and I would be like, all right.
And I know that you just hummed Babadook.
Yeah.
This like arpeggio, walk up, walk down, walk up, walk down. And I remember sitting there in my fucking girlfriend's. We were house sitting my girlfriend's parents' house, and I was leaving for tour at 6 a.m. And
someone just called you the horror punk Spicoli, so I just had to say that first.
I'll take that as a huge compliment. But dude, I was sitting in my girlfriend's parents' house, and she's like literally waking up to make coffee to take me to the airport to go on this tour, and I'm like sitting there with my guitar in my hand, still trying to play your damn Babadook lead.
Right.
It's like 4:30 in the morning. I'm like, hold on, before I get on this fucking plane, I have to play this once right. You know? But dude, it makes you a better player when you have to learn somebody else's stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I fucking when we did the Trioxin Tribute thing, were you there for that?
No, dude,
No.
I had another buddy pass away around the same time. That was a rough time, man.
Yeah.
But I was there in spirit.
Fucking so Jimmy from Crypt Keeper was on stage, and he was it was time for him to play that solo, and like I was standing I like walked up to the stage right in front of him. Yeah. And he just totally butchered it, and I think I fucked him up probably just by standing there.
Oh no!
He fucking butchered it. He was just not playing anything. I'm like, that's really? This is your fucking time to fucking show me, and you nothing?
Jimmy's got he's got that. You know, he's like Pete Townsend, Keith Richards kind of
right
player. You know, and he might even disagree with me on that. I just take it from like the way I watch it.
He's got that ambient.
Yeah, for sure. He's got this pedal he uses, and I'm not trying to give away any tricks, so I won't. But he has this reverb pedal from hell, bro, and it sounds so good. If you listen to, for instance, like the song "Mad Dog 2020" by 5, he uses it in the chorus of that, and it almost sounds like a fucking oboe or something, dude. So he's on that tip, and then for a band like CK5, he's like perfect, you know.
Yeah, he's got that ambient tone, which is why it works out so good on the Goolsby record, because like anything that sounded like that would be him. Yeah, anything that was aggressive was me. You know what I mean? Like
sometimes I told Goolsby, it's like it almost sounds like in certain things you got like a lap steel, but it's definitely Jimmy.
It's Jimmy. Yeah.
I heard some while you guys were recording that. You know, I was around too, and I don't even think we crossed paths because we were getting ready to leave on the first or second Roving Midnight tour. But I heard some like stripped down versions of the songs, and I heard a bunch of different versions that you guys did. That was cool. That I hope see the light of day, because there were some versions of those songs where I was telling Goolsby, I'm like, whoa, dude, it almost has like a Nick Cave feel to some of the songs. And I always tell him this, but just as a friend and as a fan, I always tell him I'm waiting for your Nick Cave era. I'm waiting for your Leonard Cohen era, because I think Goolsby has that in him, man. I think
totally.
I think there's something. He loves that roots Americana stuff as much as I do.
Yeah.
I would love to hear him play some like haunting Appalachian music, you know?
He could definitely, yeah. He would definitely knock that out of the park.
Right. So if you're listening, Ghouls.
Yeah. Apparently, he was telling me his next record is like half the songs he wrote in drop D tuning. So apparently, it's going to be a little darker, a little more,
Really,
a little more edgy.
nice.
So I'm looking forward to that. A little heavier.
We have about 8 new songs for the Epidemic recorded, and they're very, very metal on the guitar side, I should say.
Yeah.
Even on the drums, there's a couple parts, might be horror punk blasphemy, but there's a couple blast beats on the new Epidemic.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like legit blast beats.
Yeah, dude. I'm talking second snares. Pop, pop, pop.
Like gravity blasts.
Yeah, you know, dude, it's not quite there, but
Right.
you know, in sections, more the old school blast.
I do miss being in a metal band.
Dude,
Like I was oh Jesus Christ. See? All right. So I was talking shit and now he's bought 5, 6, 7 shots.
oh,
He just bought 7 shots at once. I have to let me do the third. Lynette, this is your shot, the third. I have 7 more to do after this. Richard Dicko North says I have a bad internet connection, so he's got to buy these 7 shots for me to improve the connection. Bro, I think that might be your connection because everything seems to be running smooth right here.
That's smooth on my end.
Yeah. Man, this is what happens when you call out your boy. He fucking buys 7 of them.
This guy wants.
Looks like we'll be out on a ripper tonight, boys. All right. 7 of those, no problem. Ugh.
Oh. Oh man.
Yep.
Yeah.
This has been Blackout Friday has been a good answer to no touring. You know, like
Yeah.
this is what I would be doing on tour, like hanging out with Dicko North and just fucking throwing it back or something.
Dude, I will tell you, my drinking buddy on tour is definitely Emilio, who you mentioned in your intro.
Emilio?
Yeah, Emilio Menzi. And
I've never been on the same tour with Emilio.
I've never been on the same tour with you.
Yeah, what's up? We got to fucking...
I would love to.
Because we're playing the same instruments. You know what I mean? Like,
it's true.
Yeah.
Every time I've gone out, I mean, I've gone out with Noah, Johnny. I've never gone out with Willie. I love Willie, man. Willie's
right.
Closest friend.
Yeah, good old Willis is buying a house.
I know, dude. I know.
Damn.
I know. Yeah, that's probably the next step for me and Sam too, man. I'm ready to. I'm not in the best part of Cincinnati now. I grew up when I was a kid. My parents live in the suburbs. Now I live in the shitty part. But yeah, that's probably the next step for me too, man. I don't know when. You know, we definitely got to save and stuff, but.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully 2021 opens up a little bit, and we can all, even if we don't all get to tour together, see each other. At least,
yeah.
At least when even if you're not touring together, we all would cross paths for the last 5 years, sometimes 4 and 5 times a year, man.
We do got to get, because this year's been all about collaborations, and I'm on more than just what I released today. Tracy and I are planning some more stuff, so maybe we'll get you in on one of the collaborations.
I would love to do that, and I'm capable of doing that from my house. So
yeah. So yeah, we'll figure it out.
Cool, let's do it.
Fucking so how the fuck did you get into Blitzkid?
I got into Blitzkid when they signed to Century Media Records.
Okay.
I'd obviously known those dudes for a long time at that point, since I was a little kid, literally. And I remember Goolsby calling me and saying that they're going to take out a second guitar player. Now, at this point, which is here's the funniest part of my history in Blitzkid is this. The record, Apparitional, had already been recorded, made other than vocals, because I think I might do some backing vocals on it, but I mean oohs and ahs kind of thing, you know?
Right.
That album had already been recorded. I went with them to sign the contract in Los Angeles.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I remember being with them. And I remember like Johnny Coffin being there from Coffin Case.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might have been some sort of connection between Blitzkid and Century Media was John. But basically, meeting the guys, I had already known him for years. I met him through our bass player Ryan and his older brother James. But Goolsby was saying we're going to go out on these tours. We're hoping to get bigger tours, and we want to take a second guitar player out. Now, I don't want to. Everybody already knows the story, but I was getting also on the other end that Tracy was thinking of leaving Blitzkid. So a lot of people already know this now, but I was kind of poised to take Tracy's spot. And I'll tell you the truth, and I've told them both this from now. I'm just speaking frankly. Off that rip made me a little uncomfortable. Because
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't going to do it, not that I was against it or anything like that. I was just worried about how it would have been received, you know? So I got over that, and Tracy ends up going on a bunch of tours with us. So I think that's like done, right? You know what I mean? Like Tracy's, it seems like we're on the path to go. This is what I'm getting at. In the meantime, Apparitional comes out, and they have all the problems with the vocals and all of that stuff. Rico or I had nothing to do with. Our names were not on those contracts. It was a tumultuous time for the band, trying to stay together and trying to navigate new ground. You know,
Right.
Which was a weird time, and everybody was catching crossfire from that. Even Goolsby and Tracy, you know,
Yeah.
keep it all together too. But I remember I think a Rue Morgue in the middle of all this drama and craziness, a Rue Morgue review comes out of Apparitional, and it says that Nathan Wells' street punk style guitar playing, which I do not have.
Right.
Street punk style guitar playing ruins the crispness of the record, or ruins something. Technicality is lost in Nathan Wells' street punk style of guitar play.
Get the fuck out of here.
And I was like, dude, like the reason, like it was kind of.
Do you have this? Do you have this review?
Tracy could definitely show it for you, because I remember Tracy calling me, and Tracy thought it was funny, dude. Tracy was laughing his ass off. And I remember him telling me, like, dude, you need to read this. You need to read this. And this is like, wow, this is like right when this record's hitting the shelves. And it was like a terrible review. And it pretty much blamed the whole record on me. And it was a weird, like, ice-breaking moment, because luckily Goolsby and Tracy both thought it was really funny. they both thought it was really funny, dude.
Right. Did they think the guitar playing was bad?
I guess he did. I think the guitar playing's great, dude. Like,
right.
Like on "They're All Dead," that riff.
Right. Well, Tracy, I guess you suck, bro.
Yeah, he'll remember that vividly. Because he was like, that's crazy. I don't think he played a single note on this. And I was like, I definitely didn't.
Well, your skate punk style ruined it all.
Way to go, Nate.
Yeah. Here's 1 of 7, Dicko.
Oh, wow.
Saddle up, my friend, is what he said. Oh, boy.
But yeah, man, I mean, there was some drama after that, but you know what people don't know that I would love? I tried to tell people a lot, is that when shit got dramatic and like maybe people weren't talking or publicly feuding or whatever.
Right.
Even me and Joey got into it hardcore a bunch when I was quitting Blitzkid. You know what I mean?
You and who?
Joe Vasta.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
About what?
I was talking shit, dude. I was talking shit about Goolsby, and I'm not gonna lie. I was upset, and Joey was being a good friend, man.
Right.
I'm not just saying that. Because obviously.
Right. Yeah. Things have happened. Yeah.
The story, dude.
Right.
But dude, he was just being a good friend, and I was young and pissed, and I felt like in an odd way, even though it was my choice to leave. This is a wrong feeling, in retrospective, but I felt like something had been taken away from me.
Right.
Like my opportunity or something like that. and I was dealing with it like a pissed off young guy, you know. But what
I've been there, bro.
right, and what I want people to know about that is whether it was a spat between me and Goolsby or me and Joe. I think before the public, I think way before they knew, Goolsby and I had made up, and Joe and I had made up.
Right.
Dude, literally in a couple months' time from when the shit hit the fan, you know.
Yeah.
I were talking on the phone the next week. You know, it's weird, but when you're close to people, even in a we're not famous by any stretch of the word, but like just take what they read on the internet and make it truth and shit, you know. I remember there was an article with mine and Rico's face on it, and it said Blitzkid Blitzkrieg. And I was like, oh my fucking god, dude. It was just so it was weird to see, like, even at a small underground music level,
right,
people trying to make a news story out of some guys having a disagreement, and then at the end of the disagreement still being friends, you know. It's a shame what happened there, but I think it happened for a reason, because I think personally everyone in the band learned something from it, and namely those two guys who I will always say when it comes to a Blitzkid reunion or anything,
right,
there's two guys that have the fucking say in Blitzkid. You know, I even
and that's it.
And it should be, dude. It's their it's their baby, and I've never tried to disrespect that, and they'll tell you that. You know what I mean? And when it came to the reunion and them getting back together, you know, Goolsby called me before he announced anything, and I think he called a lot of people, you know, and was like, "Hey, this is what we're doing. I hope you're not mad at me." And I swear he put it like that. And I was like, "Dude, I'm not mad at you at all. This is your guys' band. I think it should be presented as a reunion, as a three-piece, first of all.
Right.
And I think you should ask whoever you want to go out with you two guys. Because that, I mean, at the end of the day, what you do that for your band, I do that for mine. I'm taking whoever the hell I want."
Right.
And it's like, I appreciate that time in Blitzkid so much, because I learned so much. Because at Goolsby, I saw the fucking world, dude. I'm a runt from Newport, bro. You know, most people from the city I'm from don't leave that city, dude, ever. They fucking die there and become drug addicts there.
Someone is asking how long you were in Blitzkid.
From 2009 until 2000. I think I got asked to join in 2008, and in 2011 is when I was no longer in Blitzkid.
Right. So then, Darrow, we played a show together while you were still in the band then.
I probably
in Webster Hall in New York City.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was a fun night too, man. That was, you and Joey were there. I don't think Jason was there.
No.
But I remember, like, Germs.
Yeah, Germs was in the band then. Yeah.
That was probably, dude. That's probably the last time I actually saw Germs. I mean, we talk, you know. Sometimes we'll talk on, like, or comment on each other's Facebook or something.
Right.
But, yeah, Webster Hall. Yeah, it was. I remember it was pouring down rain and freezing, and we got stopped at some entrance into New York City, and they flashed their flashlight back and in Goolsby's van.
Oh no! They got you out of the truck.
Yeah, dude. They were like, "Anyone who doesn't have a
no seat belts." Yeah.
Walk. And we had to walk. I forget where we were. All the way to Webster Hall, bro. We ended up walking all the way to the trade towers.
Wow.
I forget what bridge we were on. But we walked all the way to the trade towers or the World Trade Center Memorial, and we had to fucking get a cab from there. But that was the only place we could finally get a cab.
Yeah.
And it was freezing cold. But yeah,
dude, that sucks.
It does. And those Blitzkid tours were so awesome and so formidable for me learning what that life entails. And honestly seeing the work behind it. I don't think a lot of people see that, dude. I don't, even in a small band.
Yeah.
You know, if you ever, I always tell people, I really learned after that if you ever meet somebody and you're a fan, and they, especially if they're on tour, if it seems like they're in a bad mood that night,
Yeah.
doesn't mean they're a dick.
Just lay off them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, dude, what if they're having a bad night? It's because they're, you're on vacation and at work, dude. You know what I mean? And it's a weird thing to juggle, to be responsible out there, especially as a young guy.
Yep.
And like, that time in Blitzkid, like I said, 2008. I don't think I actually toured until 2009. But yeah, I remember playing with you guys and a lot of people. I think my first show with Blitzkid was at Dingbats.
Really?
Yeah, in New Jersey. I drove all the way by myself.
Damn.
They were on tour. He was like, dude, you should meet us here.
Right.
And I was like, all right, fuck it. I think I can do that. It's, Jersey from Cincinnati, what, like 9 hours?
Yeah, something like that.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Really. The thing that sucks is that Pennsylvania Turnpike, dude.
Boring as fuck.
Yeah, and it's $30.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So you're in Tennessee now?
I'm in Nashville, yeah.
You like it better than Jersey?
Nope.
No?
No. I miss New Jersey, but it's fucking expensive up there. It's a lot of things. It's overcrowded. It's...
How far are you guys... See, I've never... Anytime that I stayed in Jersey, especially on tour, I stayed with the Ots, dude. I stayed in Trenton. Even if we played somewhere else, we would drive all the way back to Johnny's house.
Right.
So I think I maybe went to Jay's house once. But I'm talking young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that was even before my Blitzkid days. Because
I was in way North Jersey, so like only 15 minutes from Dingbats, so.
His was?
I was.
Oh,
yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember. Okay. I don't know. I also went to some party up there one time. That might have been your house, or it might have been Joe's or something.
Could have been Joe's house, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the party place.
Yeah. I a few Jersey parties. Dude, I'll tell you, I've had some crazy... You want to talk about the ghetto, dude? I've had some crazy nights in Trenton, New Jersey.
Trenton's no joke, bro.
Dude, one time we were playing the Mill Hill basement with Computer 5.
Damn, yeah.
And this guy was just at a red light. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And this dude came running out from an apartment complex across the street from the Mill Hill basement and threw a cinder block through this. It just kept running. And we were like, holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, Trenton's no joke.
No, it's not, dude. And I think it's like it's poignant that band comes from that area.
Right.
They sound like they come from that area.
Yeah.
You know? It's great. I don't think there's a lot of that being lost in today's art. You know? Like I think like you used to be able to hear like you listen to like old Stones records, like Exile on Main Street, and you can hear that the room's full of cigarette smoke, man.
Right.
there's something there. There's something to be said about that I think sometimes we're missing. But don't get me wrong, we were just talking about it. I do love all of the modern toys.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. It's hard to not love them if you're a guy who's been wishing for the past 15 years I could just record a record by myself. And now you can.
Bro, yeah. I was always like that, man. If I only knew if I could record it by myself, and now I can.
Right.
You know, like it's crazy. It's crazy to me that that song that was released today that came out of my house. Like that's insane to me.
It sounds great. I'm not just.
That's why it's insane to me, because it's actually the best thing that's come out of my studio for sure, 100%. Even my own material, and like I've just been getting the hang of it. Like I've been getting better and better at mixing, at fucking tracking, all that stuff. And I just feel like right now, man, I'm ready to fucking record my own shit again.
What's next for you, man? Without giving away any secrets.
I'll definitely record my own material, my own stuff, but I'm also planning ahead for European tours with other bands that I'm friends with. So
awesome. That's awesome. I just same with.
I've made a lot of friends in my day, and now it's time to play with them and go over there and dominate. You know,
That's awesome. Yeah, same dude. We finished recording a whole new Epidemic record. It's done. We put one song out. It did okay. It's weird putting out a 2-minute song because I think people are kind of like, oh, wish there was a little bit more, you know?
right?
It kind of got a lot of traction, and then, you know, so we need to put another one out is what I'm saying. So what's next is we'll probably put another single out, and I am starting to work on my own solo music.
Yeah, I'm stoked to hear what that sounds like. I know we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
But I'm stoked to hear what comes out of you for that. You know,
it's gonna be, you know, some of the people I've talked to about being on the record, you know very well, which is Jack Deskins, Johnny Ott, and
right.
Some more CK5 boys. And it's gonna be more along the lines of the stuff that you know, roots music. I hate to say it, like I know that's a generic term, but I love Delta blues, and I love obscure, weird jazz that you can find from the 30s and 40s. And the last record I bought was Railroad Songs recorded from 19. And I just love that stuff. And I want to try to do something, probably not 100% analog, but something a little bit more of a live traditional environment.
Right.
And it won't be horror punk, but you know, the Epidemic is in full swing, dude. We've got 14 songs that nobody's heard yet. So
that's awesome.
If that's what you're looking for, we'll have plenty of that too. So
when is that going to happen?
Definitely 2021. So I'll give you a little rundown hopefully before the end of the year. If not, right in January, our second record will be made available on vinyl, The Body Thief. And then mid 2021, we'll put out a new record. 3? Whew.
It's number 3 of 7.
That bottle, do you even have 4 shots left in that bottle?
Yeah, we got 4 shots left.
What are you drinking there?
Drinking some Polish stuff.
Yeah?
I can't even read it because it's in Polish.
Are you a dark liquor guy?
Sopliczka. Say it again?
Are you a dark liquor guy?
Yes.
No clear liquor at all?
I mean, I'll do it, but
I like gin.
I like gin too. I got some gin right here. I got some Hendrix over here.
I'm not a big vodka guy.
No, when I was younger, maybe, but yeah, vodka is long gone. I'm a bourbon, whiskey, scotch kind of dude.
My grandfather
I ran out of whiskey, so I got this fucking Polish shit. So might as well drink the Polish shit.
My grandfather always told me vodka's for alcoholics.
Right, I'm pretty sure it's all for alcoholics.
Right? Alcoholics.
Right.
But yeah, man. So that's it. Any new songs will definitely. Well, like I said, we'll put out a couple singles or whatever. But an actual release of brand new material, summer 2021.
Right on. Are you doing this stuff on your own now, or like you have a home studio set up to fucking?
Yeah, we mainly, me and our guitar player Mike, we mainly recorded most of those new songs at his place, just because he had a few more tours than I did, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely become a lot easier, especially really for demoing purposes. I have stuff here, record some stuff just to a metronome, just to show,
right,
you know what I mean? Or I just 2 days ago, I did some backing vocals right from where I am right here, just for the new record, you know?
Yeah.
So it's cool like that. Bigger projects, I'd rather be in the room with somebody who has a little bit more knowledge.
Yeah.
Like Mike, you know, he does that for a living. He works for PBS. And he does, like, our guitar player is insane, dude. He has 5 Emmys. I don't know if you know that.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. No.
For television shows.
Damn.
Yeah. He's like a Mac when it comes to his actual career, you know? So
Rick, hold on. Rick Carrillo, you're walking in here thinking you know what you're talking about. He's saying that you're not so spooky, and then he's asking where the shots are. I've been doing shots all night, Rick. Where you been? Fuck. All right. Sorry about it. We're interrupted by these rude people that watch the show.
Oh, no, dude. That's awesome. That dude, like,
so,
it's good to hear an interactive audience. You know?
Yeah, and these guys are sticking with me through 33 fucking shows so far. Rick actually makes all of my he's made my logo, he's made my fucking what I have on the green screen. You don't see it now, but you know, I have a lot of cool shit going on. Rick does he did the advertisements, he does all the thumbnails, fucking. So yeah, Rick.
Cool. Well,
yeah.
You do great work, Rick. It looks awesome.
Good. See, look, good job, Rick. He's upset because I'm thinking about using more people on Fiverr. I'm gonna outsource to Fiverr. You voted tonight. I know who you voted for, buddy.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's on the train. Hold on, my battery's dying. It's okay.
Oh, you're good. But yeah, man.
So this dude's won fucking 5 Emmys.
Yeah, Mike, he's a beast. He's an editing beast, dude. That's what he does for PBS. He edits their documentaries and shit. So if one of their documentaries wins an Emmy, he gets one. But he's great to have in the room, you know, something that's involves more than just some backing vocals or a little beat or something. I like being with him. It seems like he's a little bit more comfortable. And if you haven't listened to it, dude, that new song we put out, in my opinion, is better mixed than anything we've ever put out, hands down. Be it in Black Pharaoh or anything, it's just the mix is fucking awesome. And it was all done with a Fractal FM3 audio.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was done in Pro Tools. I think we did that in Reaper.
It's great because the FM3 is like this size.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm still using the Axe FX 3, which is a straight up 3-space rack unit still, so it's pretty big, but like that FM3 is tiny. Yeah,
we bought the FM3 and I uploaded a 5150 into it. A 5150 head, and that's what I played on it. I think Mike played something weird like a Bogner or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, the Bogners are awesome.
It was a great tone to mix with that.
That's a full tone.
Yeah. Yeah, he just got a new ESP, the Les Paul, whatever, the LTDs or
the LT, yeah.
You play ESP?
No, I play Music Mans.
You do?
Yeah.
Have you always played Music Mans?
For a long time now, yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, I definitely recognize that one. Dude, I'm looking for an Iceman body.
Ask Joe, he'll fucking get you an Iceman body, something.
Dude,
Joe's all about the Iceman. I hate it.
There was this Japanese company a couple years ago who put out a Jay Yanger.
Oh, really?
Iceman, and it all it is a paint job, the green with the white stars or whatever. But I picked it up at a local music shop we have here called Mike's Music, and it sounds like such shit, dude. I guess, if you picked up some kick-ass pickups or something and put them in there, it would do okay.
Right.
But there's a guy here named Justin Kennedy in Cincinnati, and he works on all my guitars. And I've got an old Gibson Les Paul that he just put some, I think they're out of print now, but Seymour Duncan Invaders.
Right.
That pickup?
Yeah.
Just kind of like their passive version of a metal pickup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they make them anymore. But, dude, I love the way it sounds in the Les Paul, man. They're still rich. You can get a good clean tone out of it if you're playing something like blues or something like that. But if you need it to shred, it'll shred. Yeah,
I got a Les Paul, and it's so good. It's like a real piece of wood, you pick it up. Your back hurts.
Anybody can tell you, that has toured with me and held them, even Johnny. I like heavy fucking guitars, like the actual weight, not the sound. Yeah. I like when guitars
that Les Paul
heavy,
that I have is just
and
so
you can really
heavy.
feel them, and you can really feel the string go through.
Yep.
Like you can really feel that sound vibrating through that. I love the Les Paul. I play an old. Actually, there's an old picture of Jason Trioxin with it, a coffin case prototype guitar.
Right.
That I put some EMG 81s in. But there's an old picture of Jason holding it from a long time ago for a coffin case ad. And then on my birthday, when I joined Blitzkid, my birthday present from Johnny Coffin was that guitar.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, dude, this is that one that Jason Trioxin's holding if you want it. And he was saying, I was like, yeah, I want it. Dude, it's a neck through body. It's a great little body. And he was like, if you really want it to sound right, I'd put some new pickups in it, because I think he just had some stock.
Right.
Fuckers, you know what I mean? But I still have that to this day, dude. I played it on the new song.
What are the go-tos now these days? What's your go-to guitar?
Definitely the Les Paul. Now that I got the Invaders in them, I've been playing a weird switch from amps, but I switched from PV amps to Laney amps.
Right. Okay. What Laney? What Laney?
I'm playing a. I couldn't tell you what it's like, a 50-watt Laney head now.
Okay.
I forget what it's called. It's literally right on the other side. I'm looking at it right now. But I love it, dude. I love it. It's just got I don't use the dirty channel at all. I use pedals.
Really?
And it's just got that great, Tony Iommi plays Laney.
Right.
And that's kind of what got me into it. But then I'm not using it for like a muddy sound, like a muddy, stoner rock, Black Sabbath sound. But yeah, basically the Les Paul and the Laney, man. I think the first time I played that was first time I played that setup was the last time Roving Midnight played Horror Hound. That's what I was playing. So if you were at that, whenever that was, last year or whatever,
right?
If you were there, that's what I was playing.
Right now, I'm pure. Everything's all fractal. Like I have a Crown power amp.
When we go back to 2021 live, I'm probably gonna take that fractal. I'm probably gonna switch to that. I'm thinking about saving up and getting a Kemper, because my buddy Josh Murphy from Warcurse has one, and it sounds amazing.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And the
modelers have really stepped up their game.
They have. They used to be such a joke, in my opinion.
Yeah.
10 years ago, that was like just not something that you didn't hear people using them. You heard people bashing them,
Yeah.
Any of you people recording your own stuff out there, even like a little like Helix HX stomp box or whatever they're called, you know what I mean? Like a little Helix. It's like half the cost, doesn't have all the bells and whistles of the fractal, but dude, just get one and check it out. If you're a guitar player, I have a hard time believing you won't fall in love with it.
Yeah, if I don't use the fractal, like if I don't have the actual hardware with me, I have Positive Grid. I have Bias FX.
Okay.
And bro, it is awesome.
Yeah. So so this is like not a great live podcast question, because it might be a little boring, but I would like to hear your opinion. How do you get like some good feedback with these things? Do you want?
I have live studio monitors here with me, so like,
okay,
I could just fucking mic the
yeah,
I could do that, or I could just sit right next to the fucking monitor, and I get pretty sick feedback as it is.
We were trying to do some really heavy tone, like Raining Blood,
right,
feedback, and we were having a hard time, and you'll hear.
I mean, it's not the same as not having a cab right here and miking the cab.
Right.
Obviously, it's not the same kind of feedback, but I can get feedback just right here. I've done it before. It's on some of the solos that I've recorded already, where I'm just taking the sound coming out of the speaker, it's going into the humbuckers, and you just get this fucking feedback.
Right.
It works.
Yeah, I got it, and we got it too, but it just wasn't what I was just looking for. Something, you know what I mean? Like you said, that
nothing is a substitute for having a cab fucking turned up
all the way,
sitting in front of it, and just like having it going. There's nothing.
Right.
Nothing is going to take that place, but
yeah, we actually
can get feedback.
We actually ended up just recording that part with cabs.
Yeah.
We tried to do some weird things, man. I tried to record some vocals outside. I thought.
What do you mean?
Like outside? They this guy Mike knew. I don't know if he worked with the Used or he knows Burt McCracken from the Used, and he recorded one of their newest records all outside.
Right.
in his backyard. And some Chili Pepper songs are recorded like that too. Flood Sugar Sex Magic. Dude,
Why?
I don't know. And I don't, that was my question when we were done with the take.
Right.
I just don't get why. It's not like I'm in like a...
Like, what did they get from it? Like, what?
I guess
what did you get from it?
Well, I got nothing from it. I understand the idea of being in a... I'm not a big vocal booth guy. I'd rather be in the room and have a little bit of room noise on the mic. Personally, I like that. But being outside didn't sound much different than just being outside the vocal booth to me. Unless you're, you know, outside by the ocean.
Right.
That's you know, maybe that's what I was trying to say to this, you know, this idea.
Maybe that's what Anthony Kiedis had going on. He was
right. Maybe their setting was a little better, man.
Right.
Maybe they were also on 8 or 9 hits of LSD too.
Yeah. Wasn't outside with the neighbor's dog barking and shit.
Right.
Fucking.
Right. That's exactly what was going on, dude. Outside, he was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I'm like singing, looking right at him.
Can you bring your dog inside? I'm trying to record vocals.
But yeah, I like the idea of experimenting, but it's weird, you know, you hear... I think that experimental stuff worked a little bit better with analog equipment than, you know, than digital equipment.
It's getting there, man. It's getting there now because they've even modeled analog equipment. You know what I mean? Like they like you can get tape machine quality warmth through a fucking model.
It's true.
It's gone a long way, dude. It's not what it used to be. You know, recording digitally on Pro Tools and all that stuff. Like it had that stigma where it wasn't warm, but like they found ways around that, dude. And like there's a lot of things where you can't shake your finger at it. You probably can't tell the difference anymore.
For sure. I'll give away a secret. I don't like... Some of the members of my band might be upset, but there's not a drummer on Disco 2000 on the new song put out. Programmed.
Well, there's a reason why there's not a drummer on the flyer for the new Nimvind song that we put out today. It's because there's no drummer on it.
Exactly. But hey, man, I mean...
My brain was the drummer.
That stuff is sounding so good.
Yeah.
We use a program called Get Good Drums.
Get Good Drums is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of those programs are interchangeable, like, because once... if they make it for Get Good Drums, you can use the grooves on Superior Drummer 3.
We were just talking about that, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. I use Superior Drummer 3, and, yeah. I have, like, 5 or 6 different kits, and I pretty much program them myself. Like, I use grooves sometimes, but I pretty much program all my own drums.
I'd love to hear some more stuff, man. So your stuff that's on like Bandcamp and stuff, is that programmed drums?
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. I've actually gotten... The one thing I'm pretty proud of is that I got good at programming drums. And like I've practiced on so many covers, dude. Like I have so many covers I've never released just for the sole reason of programming how the drummer played it. Like I would try to visualize in my mind how the fucking beat would go.
Right.
So yeah, I've re-recorded Gotham Road stuff, Doomsday stuff, Darrow stuff. Like I've done it all just to see if I can execute the drum fill or whatever the fuck. Yeah, so
that's awesome.
I've gotten pretty good at it. That's
awesome. I'd love to hear some re-recorded Gotham Road stuff.
Yeah, I've got a couple. I did all the cars. I don't think I'm giving people news right now. I've redone all the cars. We were gonna do it until something happened, and now we ain't gonna use it anymore. But yeah, I'll show you that. I showed it to Paulie once, and he was like, "Yo, who recorded drums on this?" I'm like, that's just me. You know, that's just me, man. He's like, it sounds really good. I was actually gonna be jealous.
I've only met Paulie a handful of times, but you don't get much nicer than that dude, man. He is a cool cat. I loved that band, The Banner, dude.
Yeah, The Banner was awesome.
Yeah, they used to come down and play the Southgate House a lot.
Yeah,
it was weird because they
is that place still there or no?
Yeah, so the Southgate House is still there. for years, it's owned by a family. And for years, it was in what is now called the Thompson House. And the Thompson House is where the Tommy gun was made.
Right.
It's and the family owned the house, and they threw shows on there. They had a big falling out. So now the sister, who is one of the co-owners, she owns the Thompson House, and the brother owns the Southgate House, which are two separate buildings now. But the Southgate House, the big church, that's still there. I don't know if have you played that version of Southgate House or the old one?
I guess it must have been the old one. I just remember going up the flight of stairs, and it was that big empty reverby room. It was like a reverb chamber in there.
Yeah, that's probably the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it with Darrow.
Okay. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, man. I wonder I don't know. I wonder in 2021. I do wonder what the show. It worries me about the show turnout. Are there people going to come out, and you can't blame them, if they don't. Are they going to be eager enough? Like, that's like, I guess what I've been asking everybody who plays. Do you think people are going to be so eager that they're going to come see everybody, or do you think people are still going to be hesitant to go out in the crowd and stuff?
I can only speak for myself, and like I won't give a fuck. I will be at whatever a show I want to be at. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I don't know. Nothing will hold me back from seeing someone I want to see.
Right. I hope majority of people feel that way.
Yeah.
I hope especially I'd like to think most people are going to be like, I'm ready to go have some fun, dude. I'm ready to go see.
And like, I mean, we're in the genre of extreme music. I don't know of too many of my friends who are so careful. Like the things that we do on our,
amen,
party time.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be afraid to go to a punk rock show. Like if you were worried about germs at a punk rock show to begin with, you were doing the wrong thing.
Right.
So I just don't, maybe other genres will have trouble. I just don't foresee this genre having a problem because like, I gotta tell you, we were doing a lot of the wrong things to fucking begin with. So now you're worried about fucking germs and bro.
I totally agree. I had to joke with one of my friends. I love her to death, but she was going on a big rant about COVID-19. And I'm like, I'm not saying you're not wrong, but the last time I saw you, you were doing a line of ecstasy in the back of the
right
yacht club.
You were snorting a line of ecstasy off some dude's dick. You don't even fucking remember.
Right. Now you're worried about this? Like,
yeah. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, come on.
You can't pick and choose.
No. Yeah, all of a sudden we're fucking super careful, but like, that's what I'm saying. I know so many people. I went on a rant about this, like, when this was first happening. I'm like, dude, I've seen so many of you do so many dirty things. And now, I don't know.
I know. I agree.
Don't know.
I agree. I know we had some really fucking cool shows lined up, dude. We were supposed to, so we were gonna play Trioxin.
Right.
The Epidemic was. That was not announced yet, even.
Well, yeah, it's gone now.
Right. So we were gonna play that. We were gonna play a festival down in Memphis somewhere, with the Rosedales.
Okay.
And we had like 3 or 4 of the dates on the Blitzkid tour.
Right on.
And a bunch of solo stuff, dude. Like I play acoustic sets all the time. I mean, like I'm talking over 46 acoustic shows.
Damn. Bro, I was supposed to go to Europe, Australia, Japan. We're going to do South America again.
Dude.
And then now that's out the window permanently because people don't know how to keep their mouths shut. But yeah, when I think about what we've lost, just the amount of money that we were gonna make is just it's heartbreaking. Yeah,
isn't that
it's
weird? And
brutal?
Bands, some people don't think about this, man. For like what I call blue collar band, $1,000 is a lot of fucking money, dude.
Yeah,
that keeps a lot of that tour going. That $1,000, man. So like, even my shows where I was missing out on a couple $100, well, you multiply that by 46 shows, dude. That's a decent little paycheck, you know what I mean? And it's fucking gone. So I was super appreciative and blown away that when the only way I've live streamed, dude, was on Facebook Live. And I know I shouldn't be like probably saying this, but dude, I did it for an hour and a half the first night. I hopped off and then my Venmo was fucking $280.
You're like, fuck yeah.
Dude, I was like literally texting.
It's like a night out. It's like a whole night of fucking...
Dude, I was messaging people on Venmo like, no, take your money back. Or did you mean to send me, just...
Right.
Like, I felt kind of bad, but people were happy to, People were happy to. And so I kept doing it, man. And, you have good nights and bad nights money-wise, but I haven't had a bad night.
Like, just having a good time, yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So it's weird, man. I mean, we're going to definitely try and start doing some full band versions of that.
Yeah.
We just bought a $2,000 digital mixer that we're going to use and a bunch of a set of drum mics and stuff. And we're going to try and do full band versions of that, essentially.
That'd be cool. It's tough to get everything, especially with a stream.
I know.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some trials.
It's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking someone's asking, 2021 opens back up to life as usual. What's the one band you absolutely have to see? What's one band that you have to see when it opens back up?
If he does it, because I had tickets, and I sorry if I sound generic or like an old head, but I would definitely have to reschedule with Ozzy. I've never seen Ozzy live.
I'll have to say AC/DC,
dude,
because I did the 2004 Ozfest and I've seen Ozzy a bunch of times after that too. AC/DC is something I've never seen, and they are one of the pillars of why I am the way I am. Fucking
Young as a god, dude.
Yeah,
Young as a god. Angus Young, when I was a kid, he was like Michael Jordan to me. You know what I mean? Like dude. I got a picture of Angus Young in my framed in my bedroom of him rolling around on the floor in Birmingham, England in 1973 at a small pub show.
Right.
He just exudes rock and roll, dude.
Someone's saying that Ozzy's supposed to tour with Judas Priest in 2022, but I mean, is Ozzy gonna make it to 2022? We gotta be careful here.
Realistic, man.
We gotta wrap this guy up in a bubble if we want to see him again.
Right, and not his health issues aren't as bad, but dude, Halford's an old man too.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the last Rob Halford interview, and dude, he looks old. No, he's like an old man.
They're old men, dude.
Yeah, they are. Don't get me wrong. I would love. I've seen Judas Priest twice. I actually got to see Judas Priest with KK Downing play, which was awesome. But yeah, I hope so. Judas Priest and Ozzy, that would be an amazing show.
That was actually who was on that Ozfest, so I got to see Judas Priest and Ozzy every night. In fact, Ozzy got sick one night, and Rob Halford had to sing Black Sabbath set. So I got to see Black Sabbath with Rob Halford singing.
How did that sound? It
was awesome.
I can only imagine. He's got such him and Bruce Dickinson are the two men that I've seen sing live that I definitely, I'm an okay guitar player. I'm a very confident singer. I think I'm a much better singer than I am guitar player. Those are the two guys I watched live where I was like, holy fuck, I could never do that.
Yeah, huh?
It seemed like Bruce Dickinson, especially, dude, it seemed like he could have set down that microphone and kept singing, and you could have heard him perfectly in the back of the arena. You know what I mean? There's just something about those guys that are not human.
Yeah.
When it comes to their vocals, it just, I'd love to see that, dude. Judas Priest and Ozzy.
And this was 2004, and back then they were old.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you ever listen to Rob Halford's 90s era?
Of course.
where he's dressed like Phil Anselmo on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I kind of like it. There's an album he did, John 5 on guitar.
Really?
Yeah. It's before anybody knew who John 5 was, dude.
Right.
John 5's in the music video.
Damn.
But I'll have to send you the link after this. But
Here's number 6, Richard Dicko North. Right after this is one more, buddy.
oh, Lord.
Fucking A. This is why we're doing away with this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, like I said, you probably didn't count for people buying 5 and 6 shots at a time.
At a time, right? No, I did not account for that. No.
Right.
But it's sad that I got to create a gimmick like this to get myself absolutely destroyed for you guys to contribute to the channel. This is what it's come down to. You know what I mean?
People want to be entertained, man.
Yeah. So I'll be your fucking circus clown. Here I am, juggling all the balls for you.
Man. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I think you're probably right. I think most people are going to be, I'd like to think 2021 is going to be a good year for people.
Right.
Whether you're a blue collar band or a national act, fuck, it's got to be better.
I feel bad for all the coke dealers that have lost their jobs.
Right.
Like,
dude, in the months that we were actually in lockdown, I have a feeling that like drug dealers had to do pretty well. Everybody was getting that $1,200.
Right, you're right. I didn't think of that. I thought maybe they were doing bad.
Like,
because I saved all my money, dude. I fucking hoarded that shit up. I stopped doing everything and just put that shit in the bank. I'm like, we're probably gonna get fucked over at some point, which we eventually did because they just stopped helping people.
Right.
So,
yeah,
I'm lucky I saved that money.
It was a scary time, dude. I mean,
yeah,
it's still scary right now, but it was so fucking like just.
What the fuck are we gonna do?
Yeah. Or what's gonna happen? And day by day, it seemed like it was just gonna fucking get worse and worse. Which it kind.
I called my landlord immediately. I'm like, "Yo, what? Let's make a plan. What are we doing?" And he was like, "Fuck you, pay me."
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks, dude. I gotta say, my landlord is such a cool fucking lady. I won't say her name or anything, but my landlord is an ex-porn star.
Damn.
She's a little bit older now, but she's been a fucking champ for me and my girlfriend through all this, dude.
Right.
That's all I gotta say. She has been a fucking G, dude. Straight up, like she has really stood by us, dude.
I thought my landlord would be a little more understanding because he's actually. And I was shocked when he was being such a dick because he's a very public person. And I'm like, are you sure you want to fucking take this tact with me? Because you're considered this really nice guy on Sirius XM, and you're being such a dick. Do you really want to go this route and just have me fucking tell people what you're saying to me right now during the middle? Like, we're fucking, shit's getting real. You know it's getting real.
Right.
He never wanted to admit it. He was just like, nah, fuck you, pay me.
Damn.
But I figured it out, so I actually never missed rent once. But there was a fucking time where I'm like, I don't know what, like, who knows how long this is gonna last for?
Right,
like,
exactly.
we gotta.
That was it. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, how long do I prepare?
Yeah, and yet here we are, still with the same. It's Halloween tomorrow, dude. It's still happening.
I know. Are they doing the whole 9 by you, trick or treating and everything?
Yeah, Halloween's open here. Tennessee does not give a fuck.
I know
about anything.
The player was just in Gatlinburg, and he said it was off the chain, dude.
Yeah.
Every bar was packed, wall to wall.
Yeah.
There were bands playing, the whole fucking thing, dude.
Yeah, downtown Broadway in Nashville's, all the bands are playing.
Slammed.
Bachelorette parties galore, you name it.
Yep. Yeah, I believe it, man. There's gonna be those places that are just like that. You know what I mean? I know bands on tour right now. You know, and I don't know if I'd be out there. I want to. Don't get me
right. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't
But
know.
you know, all the places that are open are the places we barely made money at to begin with. You know, like the Midwest,
Right? Here we
fucking
are,
always blue. Yeah.
right here in the Midwest.
Well, I mean, Cincinnati is like once you
I
start
know.
heading west of there, like Indiana was okay, but only Chicago, Illinois is good. You start getting west of there, it's just awful. Like there's
No,
nothing
dude.
until like Denver. You know what I mean?
I love some people up there, but I mean, I know you have, but for people who have never played like fucking Branton, Nebraska on a Tuesday,
Right.
on a Tuesday night, dude. Oh my gosh. When it's high, especially when you're like you said, like an extreme genre
Yeah.
sort. Dude, like, you know, it's cool. But what's cool is the saving grace is there's a couple of kids who are there who are into it.
Yeah.
Damn, here we are in the middle of nowhere.
JG is saying Ohio is a complete and utter clusterfuck.
Absolutely.
In what way?
Yeah, I don't know if I can. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a clusterfuck in the way of COVID. Is that what he's?
Yeah. How are you guys dealing with that? Like, are things completely shut down
wasn't-
there? Or are you guys wide open or what?
So bars have to close here in Cincinnati at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Same with restaurants. Any public place has to be closed by 10. You got to wear a mask everywhere, just like anywhere else.
Right.
Other than that, I don't really know if there's more stipulations. I know there's not a lot of live music going on.
Right.
In there, it seems like small little acoustic shows or like
Singer-songwriter shit.
yeah. Open mics or something like that. Those are allowed to go off. But as far as like the bands that play through here all the time, I haven't really heard.
Yeah. No, that's not going to happen for a while.
I know. Yeah, and I mean it's right. I live on the very, very southern end of Ohio. Right on. I mean, you could throw a rock into the river from where I am right now.
Right.
And I think that right now, Hamilton County, which is the county I live in, Hamilton is almost in the purple, bro. It's like really bad. We're spiking really bad here right now.
Damn.
Apparently, Hamilton County, Ohio, and Kenton County, Kentucky, are one of the epicenters of America right now. But then sometimes I wonder: is everybody's local radio saying that about their city?
That's pretty much what's happening. They're saying that we're spiking like crazy here, but no one seems to give a shit. So,
yeah, dude.
as long as they don't give a shit, I don't give a shit either. I really don't. I go out whenever I want. I don't care.
Do you go out to bars and stuff, or you mean just to grocery shop and take care of stuff?
I usually, because I get so annihilated here at my house on Friday, I'm like, well, now that the podcast is done, what do I do now?
Right.
Let's go to the bar.
Right, of course.
So yeah, I've been to the bar a bunch of times.
Do you have a bar close to you?
Yeah, I'm not going to say the name of the bar.
Of course.
Because we go back to the Prohibition days where we fucking at a certain time they shut the fucking doors to the outside world, but we stay inside and continue to drink until we're done.
I like that.
So it's really gone back to the Prohibition days.
That's America, baby.
Yeah. Yep.
That's freedom.
That's freedom right there.
Yeah, man. It's weird, but in an odd way, man. We've been more productive than we have in the last 5 years because
fucking Richard Dicko North just said Justin Turner, who's a baseball player, he spread the virus to 12,000 plus people, but fuck it, he just won a World Series, so it's okay. It wasn't that bad. Like, yo, seriously, he's in the middle of the field. You know what I mean? Like, the fans are way out in the stands. Like, it's just his teammates who are fucked, and that's fine.
I hope Justin Turner has a T-shirt that says that quote.
Right.
Who gives a fuck? I just won
a World Series, so who cares?
True.
And plus, their fans. Did you see the fans afterwards? They're partying in the middle of the fucking LA streets. They're fucking turning over cars, fucking setting shit on fire.
For sure, man. It's weird.
COVID only counts when you want it to count.
It does seem like that, and I know
If you win a championship, it doesn't count for that night.
I know we are really on the rule of COVID only counts when they want it to count.
Right.
I know people who will tell you to wear a mask, but then turn around and not wear a mask.
And not wear one? Yeah.
Yeah. It's bizarre, man. I don't mind wearing.
If you got to protest something, it's okay.
Right.
But if you're just going to go shopping, it's not okay.
Right. I don't. It's something, dude. There's something to be said about that. That is, it's just hypocritical. It just is, and people don't want to hear that. But people don't want to hear anything anymore. When if it's a possible judgment towards their action.
Yeah. People already think I'm a piece of shit. So what's one more reason?
Dude, I never hear anything bad about you ever.
I doubt that. Richard Dicko North, this is the last one, buddy. Thank you for spending $35 to buy me 7 shots. I guess I'll probably get a phone call from you later tonight, fucking when you're super hammered. That's usually what he does. The podcast is over, and then he calls me.
Yes.
And then we'll drink more. So cheers to you, buddy. Lynette, thank you also. Curtis, thank you for joining the show. JG Shepard, awesome always from hearing from you.
Yeah,
fucking
my buddy.
Yeah. Cheers, Ohio. Guys. Yep.
Yeah.
What else, dude? What else is going on that you can talk about?
Oh, we can. I got a little sneak peek of what Blitzkid's got going on tomorrow.
I did as well.
And it looks pretty cool, man.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm really proud of them for doing something. I know Goolsby, long before COVID, has been wanting to do something like that.
Yeah.
I always thought it would be cool to have like the Argyle Goolsby variety hour. He was like literally like
yeah, he's finally had the chance to do something like this.
Yeah. And it's cool to see him do I'm stoked to hear the Nosferatu score. And it kind of got me into talking to some of the local theaters here about when you guys open back up, or maybe even before that, having live bands play when you play silent films and stuff like that.
Right on. I've even done have you seen Goblin do
Suspiria?
Yeah, and I saw them do Dawn of the Dead or something. Day of the Dead. I forget which one, but I saw them do it live so the movie's playing and they're fucking on a stage, and the parts where it fucking builds up with the music, they're playing.
That's awesome.
Live.
I would love to set something like that up with a rock band.
Yeah.
I've also, in a weird way, something that people have been asking me about, I've spent the last 2 years writing a movie script, dude. And that's definitely outside of rock and roll, but outside of rock and roll, that's what I've been working on. I have a writing degree myself, and I started writing it on the last Roving Midnight tour I was on my way back from California all the way to Cincinnati.
Right on.
And it's a horror movie, but not some gory slice way. More, I'm a big David Lynch fan. I don't know if you are,
I am, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the surrealism of all that. So it's got a lot of trippiness and
yeah. Sometimes sometimes it gives me anxiety, but sometimes it's really awesome.
Yeah, sometimes I love the anxiety.
Right.
I even love that's why I like some uncomfortable music. I love, not a lot of people this is probably past now because I don't think people do deep dives in bands much anymore. But if you really listen to some old 9 Inch Nails or something like that, there's some serious
uncomfortable music I can do. But you know what he does that sometimes just drives me nuts is you don't notice this in your everyday life because you're actually living it. But all right, for example, you sit down at your fucking living room table, dining table, You pour fucking cereal into a bowl, the milk goes in, all these sounds that are just getting magnetized. And like usually a TV show or a movie will skip right through this, or you'll see the action but you won't hear the sounds of like just that. And like Lynch will just go in there and like you'll hear the crunching of the cereal hitting the bowl, the milk being poured in, like
dialogue.
Yeah, loud as fuck. And like he'll just be reading, and the guy will be reading a newspaper, and then like flipping the page, like you'll hear the crinkle of the page, and then he'll dip his spoon into the cereal and then take a bite, and just like the crunching of the food.
Yeah.
While flipping a paper, and it's just dead silence otherwise. That gives me so much anxiety, because like I do this all the time, but I don't want to watch someone and just 30 seconds feels like forever.
Right. Sometimes I think that's what that feeling that you're talking about. Sometimes I think that's what, in my opinion, horror punk is missing.
Right.
I think horror punk, don't get me wrong, I love some what I call well-aged cheese. I love that. I love a thick coat of cheese on stuff, as long as it's self-aware and it's having fun. Then it's awesome. You know what I mean? But I've always wanted to see that horror punk act or guy come out that is like that Marilyn Manson, that is that person that's like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it scary as fuck, and there's not any gimmicks, or there's gonna be a gimmick but there's not gonna be any jokes or any
yeah.
You know? I've thought about that for a long time, but when I think about doing solo stuff, again, I don't think about writing horror punk songs. So that's the only reason I haven't done that. If I like my dream horror punk project, if I had one at 33, would be to do something so fucking insanely offensive that most horror punk people hate it.
Right.
because most, and I mean this in a good way and as a compliment, most horror punk fans that you meet and people who are into the scene are real wholesome, super sweet people, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to hit them with something that's like, holy shit.
Like, oh.
Yeah. I would love that. I think
I can't show people I like this.
Yeah. I would love to see horror punk get shaken up a little bit with some anxiety and with some, you know, some Lynchian elements there.
Well, there you go, people. This is what we need to see.
If you got it, bring it, man. I'd hear it.
Well, dude, thank you for jumping on with me, brother. It's fucking awesome talking to you.
Dude, thanks for letting me rant with you. I know I have terrible ADD. So.
It's all good. That's what podcasts are all about, right?
Right. We'll have to have you on Nightmare City, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
We usually do it on Sunday mornings. I know that kind of sucks, but we can figure something out, man. I'd love to have you come on.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, I'll come on for sure.
Awesome.
Guys, thank you for joining me. As always, I appreciate you, Richard Dicko North. I believe I did the 7 shots. Yeah, we're done. We're good. If not, I'm sure you'll call me. So yeah, all right. Next time we come on, will be a different schedule. No more Mondays. Joe has been canceled.
Oh,
he's upset about it. But on Wednesday, I have Carlos Anguiano, the dad of the Scurvy kids. So anytime we go out to fucking California, he's always the guy, right? Like he helps hook up shows. He was working at the Whiskey for a while, so
that's my boy.
Yeah, Carlos is awesome.
Yeah.
And then so Wednesday and Saturday. Saturday is a matinee show, 3 p.m. Eastern. I got Mike Tipping of the Sluts. Nice. So long until the seance. He'll be on Saturday with me. So yeah, that guy is awesome. I once got a side eye from a bartender one day because so long until the seance was fucking late for load in, and I'm like, "Where are the sluts at?" Like just yelling it as loud as possible, and the bartender's just like, "Who's this asshole?"
Here we go.
I'm like, "No, I meant the band, Yeah. So anyway, dude, awesome talking to you.
Awesome talking to you, man. Thank you for having me.
Peace out, guys. Stick around for a second. The outro music. Goodbye, guys. Peace.